I think the first question would be, what is the screen?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm going to go watch it on a... What is phone?
Sophia, something I love about the Lord of the Rings universe is that all of these characters are constantly talking about the past, but not with that nostalgia to go back and live as it was before, but to learn some lessons, to learn from the past. It doesn't matter if it was good, if it was painful, or if it was good, you need to learn something. So if you go back to the experience of filming this TV show, what is the biggest lesson for you?
Oh my, what a beautiful question.
Yeah.
What a beautiful question. If I could go back, I think that I would trust myself more and listen, trust my inner instinct and my inner flame. We all have one. And I would turn up the heat, the volume on that, rather than dismissing it and constantly watering it down and telling it it's wrong, because your instinct and your gut feelings are the essence of you, and so they'll never do you wrong. And so yeah, if I could go back, I would tell the person at the beginning of this production, you've got this, you've got this.
Evil does not sleep. It waits.
Then all of these characters are living in the dark times of the Middle Earth, and when you are in a complicated situation, it's hard to differentiate or understand what is the right thing to do and what is the right thing for me. Like this is the right thing to do for everyone, or this fits my needs. So, for example, your character, he's a leader and he's constantly taking big decisions, but he's, I think, in a gray area. So, how would you describe the environment for this character?
That's also a very astute question. When we first meet Gil-galad, and frankly when we first see Middle-earth in our series, Middle-earth is in a relative time of peace, and everything seems to be great. But remember, Gil-galad is, at this point I think he's almost 3,000 years old. He's lived the ups and downs of the return of evil, and so I think the peace is actually very unsettling for him. And his choice becomes, do I protect my people? Not so much his own self, because it's complicated with an elf. They live forever, and even when they die, they're balls of light, and the kind of I'm not being glib about Tolkien, but they're balls of light, and no, I love it. I love the lore actually. It's just funny. But he has to choose between Middle-earth at large or his own people, and I think that's a tough decision, and it's one that every loving parent has to make. Do I sacrifice my child for the well-being of other people? It's a hard one.
I think people who are in positions of power, some of them can have a bad rap, and others very much deservedly so. He's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. They are at a bit of a junction now as to where to go, where they're taking this already great kingdom, but you don't want to leave it just to stagnate. It does need to progress, and it does need to, because what are they going to leave for future generations? What is there going to be in the future? And I think Pharazôn is very progressive in that he does think of this. Can that affect you on a micro, on a selfish level? I'd imagine it could do. But right now we're seeing a man who is very much forward-thinking and for his people. And I think that's all I can say about it, really.
I am a new character, I'm not in the lore, so when I was making decisions I thought a lot about what we know of Pharazôn, what we know of Númenor. And with this relationship you've got somebody who's seen a lot, who has fought for this society we're currently living in, and who has earned the respect of the people. His son has just been born into a pretty good situation. So one of the tensions between them is that he's never known anything beyond comfort. As far as he knows, the status quo has always been like this. It's always been great, and there's no need to push it or buck it or fight to preserve it, because it's always suited him fine. As the show moves forward, as there are rumblings across Númenor and Middle-earth, it becomes apparent to Kemen that he's going to have to step up. He's going to have to identify what he cares about, what he wants to fight for, and what fighting will actually look like. But when we meet him, he's just been having a very nice time, a dangerously nice time.
Each of us must decide who we shall be.
This is a new story for everyone, and the writers created characters, to complete this story. And I think that it's great because this is entirely yours, So have you ever thought about the impact of your image? I don't know how to describe it, but your voice, your face, your image will be like the visual and narrative reference forever. So have you ever thought about that? Are you afraid of that? Are you excited? What do you think about that?
I feel personally incredibly honored as an actor and artist. I've felt responsible to help create some sort of change through my art. I do believe that all art is political in a way of speaking about something or choosing not to speak about something. So you can't escape what art says and does. And for me, it's always been a great mission to represent my people, represent Latinidad, to represent Afro-Latinidad, Afro-diasporic people. But also beyond that, I grew up in a very poor community. And classism is a real thing as well, and a lot of kids like myself are not taught to aspire to anything. It was very clear. I remember one of my teachers was like, well, you'll be lucky if you graduate from high school. That was kind of the feeling for us in school. At least graduate from high school. That was our glass ceiling. So, for me, it's this moment is very important, and now, I'm happy to be the reference. I'm happy to be the day one, or the last day that it wasn't this way. Chapter, we close it. There's no longer a time where there wasn't one of us.
Eventually, one or the other must surely break.
There's nothing that can beat the imagination of a person, that this process of creation. And Tolkien is like the best example. He was a genius. And at the time he wrote all of this universe, it was nearly impossible in cinema or television to translate the world to the screen. But now it's different. Even it's different from, the Lord of the Rings trilogy 20 years ago. So how would you think Tolkien would react to the landscapes and the visual effects and the costumes and all of this that looks amazing? I had a chance to watch the first 2 episodes, and it's like, I don't know how to describe it. So how do you think he will react to the possibility to watch this in the screen?
I mean, could you imagine writing this stuff and then seeing it up on
Like
screen?
that.
Yeah,
Seeing it in this
like
way.
like JD and Patrick. I'm amazed by what they've written, what they've created here, and then it being up on screen. I can't even comprehend how that would feel. But for Tolkien to do it,
Yeah, I think the first question would be, what is a screen?
yeah,
What do you mean? I'm going to go watch it on a... What is phone?
yeah,
There'd be a number of hurdles to overcome before you're like, and here we are.
yeah, true.
You're still like, I'm still confused about the CGI, right. Still haven't got my head around that one.
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean...
I like to think and dream and wish upon a star that he'd be very, very happy, because we are either new or fans of old, but every single cog in this huge creative machine are fans of Tolkien. And we constantly go back and look back at his narrative and his works. He's our food, and so I like to think that in some way he will see the extension of himself and be really, really, really proud of what we're bringing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
He'd want to show it to his kids immediately, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for this TV show. It's amazing. I'm very excited, and
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you
watching.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.